Exploring abandoned places had always intrigued me, but nothing prepared me for what I encountered that fateful night at the old factory on the outskirts of town. Armed with only a flashlight and a sense of curiosity tinged with apprehension, I ventured into the crumbling remnants of what was once a thriving industrial hub. The air inside was thick with dust and decay, the silence broken only by the occasional creak of rusted machinery and the whisper of my own footsteps echoing off the walls. Graffiti adorned every surface, a testament to the transient souls who had passed through before me. As I moved deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, a sense of unease settled over me. Shadows danced in the beam of my flashlight, casting eerie shapes that seemed to shift and morph with each flicker of light. The atmosphere was suffocating, as if the very walls held secrets they were reluctant to reveal. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon signs of recent habitation, a makeshift bed of blankets and cardboard tucked away in a corner, remnants of a small fire with charred cans strewn nearby. My heart raced as I realized I wasn't alone. Homeless squatters, seeking refuge from the harsh realities of the outside world, had claimed this forsaken place as their own. I treaded carefully, wary of disturbing anyone who might view my presence as a threat. The faint sound of voices ahead sent a chill down my spine, a hushed conversation, punctuated by nervous laughter and muttered curses. Peering around a corner, I caught a glimpse of shadowy figures huddled together, their faces obscured by tattered clothing and unkempt hair. "Who goes there?" a gravelly voice called out, the words dripping with suspicion and caution. Frozen in place, I debated whether to retreat or cautiously approach. Before I could decide, a second voice chimed in, more menacing than the first. "Looks like we got ourselves a visitor," it snarled, accompanied by the unmistakable sound of footsteps drawing closer. Panic surged through me as I realized I had stumbled into a situation far more dangerous than I had anticipated. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I turned and hurried down a narrow corridor, my footsteps echoing loudly in the deserted expanse. Behind me, I could hear the rapid shuffle of feet, growing louder with each passing second. Fear propelled me forward, my flashlight beam darting wildly as I searched for an escape route. Suddenly, I burst into a large chamber, a vast, open space filled with towering machinery and decaying crates. The air was thick with the stench of mold and neglect, but I had no time to dwell on it. Desperation lent me speed as I raced through the maze of forgotten relics, my pursuers hot on my heels. Heart pounding, I made a split-second decision to duck into a narrow alcove obscured by shadows. Breath held, I pressed myself against the cold concrete wall, praying they would pass me by. Moments stretched into eternity as I strained to listen for any sign of movement. Just when I thought I was safe, a shuffling sound alerted me to their presence mere feet away. Adrenaline surged as I fought to control my breathing, willing myself to remain invisible. Their voices grew louder, their footsteps drawing closer until they were mere inches from where I cowered in the darkness. "Where'd he go?" one of them muttered, frustration lacing his tone. I dared not even blink, lest the slightest movement give away my hiding place. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as they lingered nearby, their searching gazes sweeping the area with growing impatience. Then, mercifully, they moved on, their footsteps fading into the distance as they resumed their hunt elsewhere in the labyrinthine factory. I remained frozen in place, allowing minutes to pass before cautiously emerging from my hiding spot. Every nerve was on edge as I retraced my steps, navigating the maze with newfound caution and vigilance. Finally, I emerged into the cool night air, the abandoned factory looming ominously behind me. I hurried away, heart still racing, haunted by the close encounter with danger and the chilling realization of how easily I could have become lost in that forsaken place forever. As I reached the outer edges of the factory grounds, relief washed over me like a tidal wave. But just as I thought I was in the clear, a hand shot out from the darkness, gripping my shoulder with an iron grasp. Instinct took over, and I twisted away with all my strength, breaking free from their grip. In a panic, I sprinted towards the nearest exit, my heart pounding in my ears. Behind me, shouts erupted into the night air, filled with anger and frustration. I pushed myself to run faster, fueled by adrenaline and fear of what might happen if they caught up to me. Miraculously, I burst through the factory's rusty gates and into the moonlit street beyond. Gasping for breath, I didn't stop running until I was several blocks away, the distant echoes of pursuit fading into the night. Collapsed against a wall, I took shaky breaths, trying to steady my nerves. It was only then that I realized the full extent of what I had narrowly escaped. The encounter with the squatters, their menacing presence, and the terrifying chase through the labyrinth of the abandoned factory. It all felt like a nightmare from which I had finally awoken. Days later, the memory still haunted me, a reminder of the thin line between curiosity and peril in the world of urban exploration. I vowed never to venture into such dangerous places alone again, the chilling spectre of that night forever etched into my mind.